Well, I wonder if anybody's here. Anybody here? What's up, guys? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to hang on a second. I'm gonna try to hook up a microphone so that you can hear me better. What's up, guys? Hey, hey! This is cool. It's kind of a weird setup in this kitchen. You know, I'm not really set up to go live, but I figured we're all hanging out at home and kind of hunkering down, so why not, right? You do. You hear me clearly. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm gonna hook up a Bluetooth microphone just so I can move around, and in case I'm a few feet away from the microphone or the camera, you can still hear me clearly. So just hang tight while I take care of some technical difficulties, and you know, grab yourself a drink or a glass of water or something like that, and just hang tight. Ask me questions. I'm looking at the monitor right now, so I can see you typing. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, PDX-less. Hey, can you guys hear me yet? Let me know when you can. Better? Drinky drink, that's this is a boulevardier. Can you guys hear me? Can't hear. Yikes! Can't hear. Can you hear me yet? Thumbs up. Yeah, it's back. Beautiful. Just took a for the Bluetooth microphone to connect. So who asked me about this drink? Let's see. Sue Ann Rizzo. Hey, Sue Ann, this is called a boulevardier. This is about 1.25 ounces of rye, 1 ounce of Campari, and 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. So it's kind of like a Negroni, but with bourbon instead of gin. Make my recipe donuts. Right on. Everybody likes that one. Thing's got close to 1 million views. Definitely my most successful video by far. Absolutely. Can you guys see? I mean, it looks like you guys can see what I might be doing here in a second, but I just want to make sure that the camera is positioned as best it can. Yes? Awesome. Cool. All right, so tonight I'm making a spiral ham with a glaze that I've prepared. Sometimes those hams come with a glaze in it, you know, some stuff that's already prepared, but I usually make my own glaze. And what's in it, I don't know if you guys can see what is in this pan. You know, some of this stuff I've already made because it takes, you know, an hour and a half to make a ham, and it takes an hour to make au gratin potatoes. So, you know, some of the stuff I had to prepare ahead of time. But this glaze right here, this is brown sugar, pineapple juice, some fresh rosemary, garlic, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and some mustard. And I just heat it up and just let it reduce a little bit until the bubbles in the pot start to kind of look a little foamy. It's almost like you're candying the brown sugar in the mixture. It thickens it up a little bit. Then I let it cool off, and then I glaze the ham with it. And you'll get to see that hopefully in a little bit. The au gratin potatoes, I'm going to walk you through that. And I prepared a little dish that I cooked at the time. And hopefully my oven's cooperating a little bit. It can be kind of stubborn. Every once in a while the broiler doesn't want to work. You know, I paid a lot of money for this oven, and the range itself and the oven totally sucks, honestly. It's the top, the burners on top are what's great, but the oven is not that great. All right, so in preparation for the au gratin, who's that? Mike Braun! What's up, buddy? So good to see you, man. This is the first time I'm going live, so hopefully things pan out, really. Got a boulevardier in hand, too. So, again, with the au gratin, what I do is I thinly slice potatoes and I kind of layer them in a baking dish, along with some Gruyere cheese and some Parmesan, and what I use half and half, and I cook that, simmer that with some fresh thyme, some shallot or onion, garlic, some herbs like fresh thyme or fresh rosemary, and some nutmeg. And I let that cook just to infuse all the flavors. And then the cream and the cheese kind of get layered in with the potatoes. And then we top the au gratin with cheese at the end, and hopefully the broiler works here, and I can brown the cheese on top. So, you guys following me so far? Can I get a thumbs up, or you got any questions as we move along here? Anyone want to throw a thumbs up there just so you can hear me? Yeah, awesome. All right. So, I have my casserole dish here. Try to get everything in view so you can see it. I have some potatoes that I've rinsed. These are Yukon Gold potatoes. You can use russets too, totally fine. If you use russets, I'd peel them, but with Yukons or white potatoes of any kind, the skin is so thin that you can just leave them on. It kind of gives you a nice texture in the au gratin. Cool, thumbs up everybody, appreciate it. So what I use, and Mike, I know you're familiar with this guy right here. This is the Ben Reiner, the mandolin. This will take your finger off. Careful. So if you have one of those, I don't know, they're kind of like a mesh glove that you put on your hand. It keeps you from cutting yourself on these. Wear it. Or if you have a mandolin that comes with a little plastic part that goes on top of that you're slicing, use it. If you've been in restaurants and you're comfortable using one of these, we typically don't use anything, and occasionally we might cut ourselves. Mike, if you're still there, do you remember the time were you working, was it New Year's, I think, or it was a holiday, I know that, and I was running it, I was not feeling too good, and I cut 3 tips of my fingers with the mandolin. I don't know if you remember that. But that didn't feel too good. I can't remember if you were working that night, if you closed up for me or what. But and for you guys that you don't know, Mike Braun, that's in the chat, we worked together for a handful of years. He's a fantastic chef, incredible chef, super, super, super talented, and just a really good guy and a great friend. So thanks for hanging in the chat. Anyways, potatoes. You're looking to slice them about 1/8 of an inch thick. And this thing is usually always preset because I typically slice potatoes and other root vegetables with it about the same thickness. So you're looking for something kind of like this thin. You should be able to almost see through it. It's pretty thin. I'm Mikey. Love you too, buddy. All right. Any questions in the chat so far? Let's see. No. So okay. So with questions, I'm keeping an eye on the chat here as I work, and if I'm moving too slowly, just throw some flames in the chat or tell me to speed up. Personally, myself, I'm not in any rush, so you know, just taking my sweet old time here. So, baking dish. You can butter it, use some cooking spray if you want to. This is the, I guess it's a cheat, but I typically do this when I'm just cooking for us. And then start layering your potatoes in. And what you're going to do is, you're going to run a layer one direction and just shingle them like this. All the way across. Make sure you got coverage. There's no empty holes or anything like that. Let's see. And then once I'm done with this layer, and honestly, I have no idea how many potatoes I'm going to use here. I'm guessing maybe a couple pounds. But I usually buy them by the 5-pound bag, and they're always on hand. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm buying just enough for this recipe. I always have potatoes kind of hanging out over here somewhere. I have a layer. You see? Right here. Who is us? Us like family members, my wife and my son, I guess. The layer here, and now I'm going to go in with a little bit of cheese, which I did not grate beforehand, which I should have done, because you know me, I'm totally unprepared sometimes. So it doesn't matter what size you grate the Gruyere, and honestly, you can use any cheese, to any hard semi cheese here, or you know, Comte, which is a kind of a cousin of Gruyere, is great. You could use something like a sharp cheddar, or shoot, Cotswold. Mike, am I right? Cotswold. It has the herbs in it. It's a cheddar that has a chive and some onion in it, I think. I don't know. Comment if I'm right in there. Cotswold would be great with this too. Yeah. Yes. All right. PDX says yes, and Mike Braun, yes, sir. I think Cotswold would be a pretty good addition to this this au gratin. You can mix it up, but I'm going the traditional route, and I'm using some Gruyere. And you guys all familiar with what a Gruyere is? It's kind of like a fancy Swiss, I guess. So layer about this much here, right here. Okay. And I'm going to go in with some Parmigiano Reggiano here, which I pre-grated. And I usually always buy that in block form. I don't typically buy that already grated. Let's see. Let me get this out of the way. Do not want to make a mess. Okay, so I have potato cheese. Go in with a little bit of salt. Like so. A little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. Hey, Chris, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. How you guys doing? Y'all hunkering down and doing well, I hope. Yeah? Okay, and then my half and half mixture. Remember, half and half is just 50-50 cream and milk. So in traditional au gratin, you're going to use cream and milk. Usually. So why not just get half and half and make it easy on yourself? So I've simmered this half and half with some shallot, some fresh thyme, some garlic, and a little bit of ground nutmeg in here. And yeah, that's what I got in here. And I just simmered it until all the flavors kind of used. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit to this layer. And it's pretty thin. It's not reduced or thickened up at all. So probably just kind of sink down underneath that layer of potatoes, but you can kind of see what's going on here. And now I'm going to start another layer, and I'm going to go the opposite direction like you would with lasagna. I'm going to go perpendicular to the first layer. Looks like we got 16 people in here right now. That's awesome. I didn't know if I'd get anybody at all, to be quite honest with you guys. But kind of going a little stir crazy in the house, so figured might as well switch it up and try something new. You guys got any questions? Nice. Hey Kelly, how's it going? Did you guys see Sarah and AJ? For all of you guys that don't know us, that's my wife and my son. Did you guys see them earlier? All right, so I'm layering just like so. So perpendicular, and we're just going to repeat the process again. And I already have my cheese grated, so I'll go in with a little bit of cheese. You don't want to overdo it in between the layers. You don't want too much cheese in between the potatoes. You want just enough so that when it melts, it stays there, and you can get a lot of layers in your au gratin. Right before going to bed, right on. Hey Kelly, I'm drinking a boulevardier. So this is essentially it's 1 part rye or bourbon, 1 part Campari, and 1 part sweet vermouth. So yeah, if you got all that on hand, make it up. No, I'm sorry, I can't deliver. But we have a pizza date coming up at some point, right? When you guys move into your new house, we definitely have to do another pizza date. I'm still here, guys. I'm just throwing something in the oven real quick. All right. So got another layer here. Gonna finish it off with some pepper and some salt. And I'm going to go on to, oh wait, no, can't forget, a little bit of half and half, infused half and half, I guess. Looks like my son is watching now. Hey buddy, you watching from your room? If you see Crunch Gaming in the chat, that is my son AJ. He just started his own channel actually. He plays Roblox games. You guys familiar with Roblox? Any of y'all have kids that play Roblox? Okay, so another layer. I'm gonna whip this up. Again, now I'm gonna go perpendicular to the layer I just put in there. And I'm gonna do this, since there's 3 of us, I'm not gonna make something that's like, 4 inches tall here. I'm just gonna go maybe halfway up this pan. I mean, yeah, au gratin can make some pretty tasty leftovers. There's no doubt about that. So if you guys, anybody that's come in here before I started using this, this is a mandolin. I'll review it one more time. This is called a Ben Ryan mandolin. A lot of restaurant folks use these to get paper thin slices of stuff. Perfect for like composed dishes when you're trying to get really, really thin items and twisting them and folding them certain ways on the plate. But it also makes a great tool for au gratin potatoes or any sort of root vegetable baked dish, I guess. Some other options you could do with this is you could alternate layers of potatoes and turnips. I do that a lot. Or you could do any other vegetable and just alternate. That would make a great au gratin. You don't have to go all potato all the time. I'm not perpendicular now? What do you mean? Here's one layer here, and here's the other layer here. I'm perpendicular. All right, let's see here. Almost here, almost down to the next layer. Good, another layer down. A potato at least. Go some more cheese. If you have a question and didn't see it in the chat, just throw it up again. I will see it eventually. Who wants me to walk in? Dude, come in the kitchen, man. Free to. All right, parm's going in. A little bit of black pepper. There he is. Crunch Gaming in the flesh.
Can I just walk?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I'm gonna go back now.
Okay, you go back. Hi, Reem. Thanks for joining. I'm making some potatoes au gratin and a glazed ham. So right now I'm working on the au gratin, and I'll show you the glazed ham here in a second. So I added a little bit more seasoned half and half there, and I'm going to work on another layer, and I'm just going to keep going. And this might get boring for some of you guys, unless I cut myself on the mandolin. That would get really exciting. I swear to God, my son's a ham. In my setup. All right, buddy. Looks delicious. Thank you very much. I have a smaller version of it in the oven right now. My broiler's kind of been playing games with me at the moment. Go figure. I go live for the first time. My broiler's acting up. But hopefully I'll have an au gratin to show you guys a product, because this is going to take at least 45 minutes in the oven, and you're not going to want to hang out that long. So. All right. Questions? Anyone? Anyone? It also smells good. Thank you. You're eating it later for dinner, so I hope it smells good. Okay. Gruyere. And the last layer on this guy right here, the last layer is going to be cheese, because you want a crust on the top. It's not going to be potato. You need a cocktail? Well, take a break. Keep me on. Go grab yourself a cocktail, PDX, and I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here for a while, so feel free to grab a cocktail, come back, and we can still continue to hang out. And cheers, by the way. Okay. Parm. Is Bron still here? Mike, are you still in the chat? You still watching? Mike's got 2 little kids, so... Oh, he's got 1 kid and another one on the way. So he's going to have his hands full soon enough. Okay, let's see here. Going perpendicular, remember. Crisscross. 1 layer this way, 1 layer this way. That gives you some stability. Your au gratin, when you cut it and put it on a plate, it's not going to, you know, kind of go all over the place. It'll build some structure in your au gratin. Some vino. Grabbing some vino. Right on, Sue. Cheers. Sandy, hi. It's my sister-in-law, Sandy. Everybody's coming in the chat today. Good to see you. She just bought a house in Richmond. Her and her husband, Alessandro, are moving here, so we're pretty excited about that. Sandy, if you see Crunch Gaming in the chat, that is AJ. Okay, just gonna push it down a little bit, make sure it's kind of solid all around. Whoop. Okay, Gruyere. Probably gonna do one more layer and then I'm gonna call it. And I'll get it in the oven. There's that. So every layer has Gruyere. So you have a layer of potato, then the next layer is gonna be Gruyere, Parmesan, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of that infused cream or half and half that I have over here. Just started watching your channel, lad. You're doing a live. Yeah, I don't. This is really the first time I've done a live feed, guys. Like I said, I'm used to like having the camera and the lights all set up and everything planned out. And this is kind of more or less what the hell, you know? What the heck? Let's just hang out and cook some food and do a little Q&A if you want, and you know, have some fun. So yeah, this sucks. I'm sorry. But whoop, here we go. Some pepper. Some salt. Did any of you guys see that last video I did with about the chicken and how that differed from all the other videos that I've done so far? It was more of like a sort of record as I go along, record my voice. There's no voiceover, no music. It's pretty just sort of talk to the camera type of deal. Loved it. Awesome. Yeah, I figured I'd try something different. Why not? Why not, man? All right, so last layer of potatoes. And I should, you know, I don't want to shill anything, but I should say if you aren't subscribed, you should at least check out my channel, and if you like what you see, then maybe give me some love. So it's fun to do. It does take a lot of work. I would say that each video I make takes about a full day to shoot. So I wake up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, get all set up, start shooting around, I don't know, 9, and then I'm done probably by 5 o'clock, right when the sun starts to go down around here. And then it takes me at least 20 hours to edit it. So you're looking at almost 30 hours of work for one video. So it's a lot of work, but it's fun. It's a labor of love. Which video was it? The video, the broth, Mike, you're talking about the broth video. I was referring to the broth video that I did last week. The one where I just kind of talked to the camera and there's no voiceover. If you haven't seen it, check it out, man. Let me know what you think. My mother-in-law's in here now too. Mary, thanks for joining. Yeah, so what I was saying is those videos take quite a bit of time. And what really kills me, is that I never wanted to put ads on my channel, especially the ones where you can't skip. And if you've been a subscriber for a while on my channel, I used to not have that. I used to have just the ones where you can skip. You can always skip them. But this starts to get really expensive. The gear and the food and all that. And it got to the point where I needed some additional revenue. So I added the non-skippable ads, and I hate doing that. But when you watch those ads, when you watch a video and you see that ad, and you just know that you're just giving a little bit to my channel. And it is really very helpful, very helpful. Thank you very much, PDX Les. Really do appreciate that. All right, so this guy here, this is au gratin. So I'm trying to broil. I tried to broil a sample au gratin earlier, and it is just, that broiler is a pain in the butt. Hopefully, I cranked the oven, and I'm hoping that I'll get some browning going on with the one that's in there, and then I can show you what it looks like at the end. Can smoked Gouda cheese be used? Yeah, that's a great option. You know, smoked Gouda, though, it doesn't melt very easily, so I would probably blend it with another cheese, and it's also very strong in flavor. So I wouldn't use just 100% straight smoked Gouda. I might use something else like a Gruyere, or maybe even an Emmentaler, which is it's a Swiss cheese. It's, you know, better than what you get at the deli, but it's not quite as sharp as Gruyere. It's more mellow, and that might be a nice way to cut some of that smoked Gouda. But definitely, that'd be delicious. I'm looking at the. Okay, I didn't see it yet. Yeah, well, hey, Mike, if you watch some, if you know some of my older videos, and then you look at that one, that's the editing, the way I shot it's completely different, and I'm thinking about maybe either switching to that or throwing that style of video in there, occasionally. But it was a lot of fun shooting in that format. You know, I know my cheeses. Sort of. So the restaurant the first restaurant that I was an executive chef at, it was called Secco Wine Bar, and Mike and I worked there together, and we had a cheese program, and we didn't run it per se. We had another person that we worked with named Sarah, who is a cheesemonger and knows so much about cheeses. She's the one that kind of did all of the buying for it, but we were responsible for managing the cheese when it came in house and making sure that it was stored properly and that it was represented properly in the menu, and we could answer any questions about the cheese to the customers or the servers that were handling customers. So we got to, Mike and I know cheese pretty well just because of that. So I do know a little bit about cheese, but I'm not going to say that I'm a cheese expert, that's for sure. A virus, AJ, I don't know, maybe you do have a virus. You have a Mac, so I doubt it, but we'll take a look at that later. So I was right. What is that? What do you mean? What do you mean, EDX? All right, so here, let me finish this up real quick. And then I'll get it in the oven. I'll check on the gratin that's in the oven. And hopefully it's close to showing you guys. No, I'm gonna feel really bad. I don't wanna show you something that's not ready. Sorry, my son's screaming at me from the hallway. I have no idea what about. About cheese. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but yeah, I do know a few things about cheese. That's for sure. What do you say about these guys right here? Always have one on hand, right? You gotta have a scraper, bench scraper on hand all the time. Matter of fact, I got one, I've got two, I've got three. 3 bench scrapers. They come in handy. They really, really, really do when you're cooking at home. You have 3 too, right on. Yeah, man. Especially when you're baking and you're working with dough and you're trying to get dough out of a bowl. This little rounded edge right here, it works wonders, man. It makes it so much easier. How many benches I got? Riley, I got 3 bench scrapers. One of them, this pasta company gave me one, Arcobaleno. I used to have an extruder from them. For a while when I was an executive chef, I had an extruder. In fact, I started a Kickstarter campaign for that extruder and raised about $5,000. And yeah, I had a lot of support. It was great. The company is based in Pennsylvania, so I drove with some friends and we picked it up. And they gave us a tour of the facility. And it was really awesome. It's kind of sad I don't have that anymore because I'm not an executive chef. I don't work in a restaurant, so there's no need for a pasta extruder that makes 18 pounds of pasta an hour. What am I drinking, chef? ZC's Dell, how's it going? Good to see you. This is called a boulevardier. This is 1 part bourbon or rye, 1 part sweet vermouth, and 1 part Campari. And you just give it a quick stir and it goes. I don't have one of those fancy large ice cubes. All I have is what comes out of the fridge right now, but still good nonetheless. Gotta have a lot of benches for all those scrapers. Right on, man. So anyways, here, I have, let's see, what does this guy look like? Yeah. What do you know? What do you know? So the guy's ready to go. I'm gonna let him calm down a little bit because I do not want to take a bite of that right now. But I will in a second. And this guy here just needs a little bit of that cream on top. So I'm gonna dump a little bit more in, and what you're kind of looking for if you're using sort of an 8x8 baking dish, I would say probably a solid cup and a half of liquid needs to go in here. So I know I added some in between each layer. Now I'm just going to dump a bunch of this in. Okay. I'm going to move it around so it gets to, you want to kind of sink in there. And you want to be able to see it around the edges. See some of that half and half cream, milk, whatever you got. I'm using half and half. But you want to see it like that, yeah. When I tilt the pan, it all runs to one side, but so this is good. This is good. Might as well use the rest of this Parmesan. Thanks, PDX. Yum. That's right. Yum. I smell all the way to Miami. Hope you're doing all right down there. Guys hanging in, hunkering down. It's not too bad down there, I hope. All right, Jay, I'll see you in a few minutes when it's dinner time, okay? So this is gonna go, hold on. There we go. This is gonna go in the oven. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm still here, guys. I'm probably off camera at the moment. I'm gonna move my oven rack down. And so gratin's gonna go on one side. Yes, I'm using an oven mitt, a dirty ass oven mitt. We have one. Everybody has one, I'm sure. I've got a ham right here. It's kind of hanging out. This is gonna go back in too. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna glaze it one more time. So this spiral ham that I have here, it's just a half spiral because there's only 3 of us. And I've got some glaze that I whipped up with some pineapple juice. This is for the folks that weren't here from the start. This glaze I made with some pineapple juice, some brown sugar, a little mustard, some rosemary, garlic, and a little bit of cider vinegar for a kick. I'm just gonna brush it over the ham. This is already cooked for about 45 minutes. So it's warm. And it had foil over it so that it was able to, kind of steam a little bit, I guess. All we're trying to do really is heat it up. We're not trying to cook it because these hams are fully cooked already. And they're pre-cut too, which is great. Makes it a lot easier to serve. So what I did is I put the ham in the pan with a little bit of water. I would say maybe a half a cup. And I put it in the oven at about 300 degrees. Foiled it and let it cook for about 40 minutes. This is a 6-pound ham. 6 pounds? Yeah, about 6 pounds. And so that heated it up. Didn't need to cook it all. Like I said, it was already pre-cooked. And now I'm going to glaze it. And I'm going to throw it back in the oven without foil. And hopefully the oven will do its job. And it'll give it a nice crust on the outside here from this glaze. There, that's all of it. Now this is going back in, probably for another 30 minutes. And I have my potatoes in as well. The potato au gratin, that cooks for about 45 minutes at about 300, 325, 325. So, because I have the ham in there at the same time, it's cooking at a little bit of a lower temperature. But what's most important is that the potatoes get fork tender. I mean, you can check that, occasionally as it's cooking. Just stick a fork in there. If the potatoes feel tender, then you're pretty much there. And once that happens, again, take about 45 minutes. Then you can top it with a little bit of additional cheese, crank the oven up and throw it back in, or throw it under a broiler and just gratin the top of the au gratin and brown that cheese up, and it'll be beautiful. Any questions so far, guys? There's 13 still left in the chat. Let me know what you think. If you got questions, fire away. We're in a little bit of a holding pattern at the moment. If you don't have questions, grab a drink. Okay, so this au gratin over here is pretty darn hot. Can you guys see this? This is a smaller one I made earlier. It's pretty much what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. Again, I couldn't broil this because my broiler is not cooperating, so what I did was I just bumped the oven up to 500, took the ham out, and threw the au gratin back in, and over the course of about 20 minutes, it browned. So, cheers. Cheers, exactly. Where did I get the ham? I'm not gonna lie, I got it right at the supermarket, man. Right down the street. I did not buy it at a farmer's market or any local supplier. It is a Smithfield ham. I suppose that's local because Smithfield hams are in Smithfield, Virginia, and I live in Virginia. But I would not say it is it's a ham that comes from a small producer at all. Yeah, no judgment. Thank you. We're in trying times, so I'll take what I can get. Thank you, Sue Ann. Yes, I'm gonna taste test this, but I'm gonna try not to burn the absolute crap out of my mouth doing it. It just came out of the oven about, I don't know, less than 10 minutes ago, so it's probably still very hot. But let me get a fork real quick. I'll be right back. Okay? Don't go anywhere. In case you guys are wondering what the rest of my kitchen looks like while I'm doing this might look relatively clean. Hey Hugo, how's it going, man? Thank you, appreciate that so much. Just want to show you guys. So my wife is over here. This is the table. This table right here is what I shoot my videos on, and anything that I don't want in the screen, anything that I don't want on the camera goes on that table. So there's a bunch of crap over there right now. And then there's a bunch of crap over here because everything that was on this side of the kitchen that I'm shooting on went over here. And then if you look down there, you'll see some lights that I use when I shoot videos. And then my wife has her sewing machine upstairs. She's been sewing masks for friends and family. So our house is quite a mess right now. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm sure most other people's are the same way. Here in Illinois, it's getting a bit rainy, so I made some chickpea soup stew with Spanish sausage, and that sounds fantastic. It really, really, really does. It's pretty rainy here too. It's warm, but it's rainy, so that kind of definitely hits the spot for me too. Spanish chorizo, Spanish sausage. Well, chorizo is a Spanish sausage, so you were right. Okay, so here we go. Cheese on top, a little cheese pull action here. And the potatoes, they're very fork tender. This was a thinner one. So this one baked for about 30 minutes, and then I cranked up the oven and threw it back in and browned the top. So let's see. And mind you, I don't typically measure when I make this au gratin, other than just eyeballing the cream mixture. Everything else is pretty much just kind of feel it out as you go. See the steam coming? Yeah, I'm gonna burn the heck out of myself here. Oh yeah, that was good. That's really good. Yeah, stellar. Stellar, hot, but stellar. is very good. So what happens around the edges, if your oven gets too hot, okay, this is where I was going with this. If your oven gets too hot, this cream, half and half milk, whatever you're using, it will kind of curdle a little bit and break, especially around the edges. So you'll get some areas that are kind of have some hard or almost broken liquid. It still tastes great. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. I don't care what anybody else says. Some of the videos that are edited and they don't show that, well, it's because they're edited. It happens. So it's pretty hard to manage and have it the perfect temperature the entire time this thing's cooking. Look closer to the camera. Was that good? If I go any further away, I'll be sitting on the counter. This is how I'm set up. I can't do any better than this. M&X. Yeah, that's the best I can do. Sorry, man. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I'm happy to give them. Happy to give those recipes. So do you guys have any questions other than wanting to see the ham? And I don't know if it's going to be ready in time, unless you just want to hang out while I eat au gratin potatoes for the next 30 minutes. Questions, anyone? Anyone? Nope. Okay. I'm not sure that the ham's going to be ready in time, unfortunately. But you saw the au gratin potatoes. You're good with waiting. Right on, Chris. Right on. We can just chat. You got to drink it. I know you got an IPA in your hand. I know you got an IPA in your hand. When will you be next live? Well, I don't know. You know, if I'm doing something interesting for dinner, I might as well just go ahead and go live so you guys can see it. Will I do homemade pasta without a roller? Okay. You want me to do orecchiette? Have you seen M&X? Have you seen my orecchiette video? I have two. I have one where I show you how to make it by hand, and then I have one where you actually use it to make a dish with sausage and fennel ragu. Have you seen that one? You're experiencing tremendous hunger. I'm sorry. You have this stuff on hand, or you can get to the store. It's so easy, so easy. So I do have some videos, some pasta videos. That's one of the things that I did a lot. Yeah. So I've seen that one, and I was great. It was great, awesome. Yeah, please catch up on my videos. I took a break, so I made a lot of videos almost 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, almost weekly, and then I took a really long break because I was just getting frustrated with the whole YouTube thing, and it was hard growing the channel. It's a frustrating process. I will tell you that. It's very frustrating because you don't see growth. You have to look at from very high altitude to see growth. If you're checking your views every day and you're checking your subscribers every day and your analytics, and it's going to be nuts. And I was doing that, and I got really frustrated with it, and I kind of threw the towel in for a while and said, you know what, it's just too much work. But now it's become more of a, but not like I was before, and just focus on the video making and just kind of do my thing, and it's been great. So and I kind of do it if I have time to do one every week, then I'll do it every week. If not, then it's usually bi-weekly, and I'm not so concerned with how fast I grow. It's more like, get there I get there. The biggest goal for me is you're probably going to laugh at this, but the biggest goal is my son wants to have the silver play button on his wall, and I was like, well, when I get to 1,000 subscribers, that's my goal. Get to 100K, get that silver play button, and put it in his room, and it'd be awesome. So yeah, cook and share. Just cook and share. That's what I keep doing. Just cooking and sharing as much as I can when I have time. Like I said earlier, if you guys just dropped in. It takes quite a while, about 3 hours per video for me to do this. Not the live stuff, obviously, but the edited, the shot, and the post-production work. It takes a long time. So, yeah, the goal is 100K and silver play button for my kid. That's what it's all about for me. And also to very much to hang out with you guys and to talk food and be amongst my people, you know, because I was in the restaurant business for a while and cooking and kind of in the grind, and I love cooking and love talking food, and I never pretend to know everything, but I think I know a decent amount and enough that I can share it with you guys and have some fun with it. So yeah, I don't know if that was a rant or what, but that's, you know, that's my shtick. It's where my heart is. Yes, exactly, it's where my heart is. Somebody asked about my favorite potato. For this recipe, I always use Yukon Golds, but a russet will work too. For Yukon Golds or any white potato, just keep the skin on, because the skin is very thin on those potatoes, and you can cook with them, and it's not sort of disruptive with the eating, if that makes any sense. With russet, skin is really thick, and when you try to cut them and layer them in with a gratin, the texture is gonna be weird. So peel russets if you use them for a gratin, it'll be great, but you can keep the skin on for white potatoes. Let's see, will you still use pasta carbonara recipe all the time? We will still use your, thank you so much. Yeah, that one was tricky to try to do on camera, and I got a lot of flack from the Italians on that one. I really did. There were a lot of complaints that I didn't the noodles and the egg in a bowl as opposed to directly in the pan. Got a lot of flack from that. But that's just my process. That's how I do it. You know, everybody's different. And as long as the pan's not super hot, from New England, so if it's not wicked hot, then, you know, you're good. You won't curl, you won't cook your egg too much. Yes, and the recipe are well explained. Thank you, Reem. Appreciate that. I try to be as descriptive as possible. It's probably my downfall sometimes. You should see I should post some of the outtakes. It's hilarious. It really is. I get so frustrated with myself sometimes. Lots of work, but your thing is awesome to watch. Great video and audio was really increased. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Creative captions. Wicked pizza. Yeah. Love it, man. I've been down in Virginia for close to 20 years, but I was born in Weymouth, Massachusetts, and I lived in Plymouth for most of my young life. So went to high school in Braintree. So I don't have much of a Boston accent now, but I guess when I get frustrated and angry, every once in a while it comes out. My dad's got one. You know, he grew up in Brockton. I will, brother. Okay, MNX. Keep on doing great content. Thanks, man. Appreciate that so much. I really do. Bye from Slovakia. Awesome. Wow. 1:37 in the morning, man. Get some sleep, dude. How about a compilation of outtakes? That's not a bad idea. I'd have to dig through all my archive videos and pull some of that stuff out. And I'll get better outtakes now that I'm doing some videos where I'm talking to the camera and not doing voiceovers. Because I end up, every time I talk to the camera and I do something, it takes 3 or 4 times. It's not like I just whip through it all in 30 minutes. It is a process, let me tell you. South Weymouth, is that where you are? You South Weymouth, or you went to South Weymouth High? There was St. PDX? Oh, let me check my ham. Hold on. Yeah, not ready. It's just not be ready in time. Oh, thanks, Chris. Appreciate you giving me the share. Thank you so much. Oh, you're there. Awesome. PDX, do you remember there's a Weymouth Tennis and Athletic Club? You familiar with that? Lived in Quincy. I used to hang out at Walston Beach. Used to surf in Nantasket. Mike Braun's back. Oh my God, oh yeah. Yeah, I lived in Plymouth. All my friends
from Marshfield, Scituate, Cohasset, Hingham, Milton, all those areas, up and down the South Shore, man. Used to take 3 up to high school every day. It was a 45-minute drive from Plymouth to Braintree every day. Last stop on the Red Line. I've gone Boston, yeah. I miss it. I miss New England, I really do. I mean, I love Virginia. Great place. Richmond is a fantastic city. I've made some friends that I'm so grateful to have. And it's a great place to raise a family. Great place, but I really do miss New England. And all of my high school buddies, most of them still live in the area. And I'm overdue. I haven't been up there in like 20 years. It's been a long time. It's funny, PDX. Your last chat was held for review. I had to approve it. But yes, I'm an asshole. Born and raised, man. So I went to school. I went to college in Connecticut at University of Hartford in Westford, Connecticut. That's where I met my wife. And I finished up here in Richmond for graphic design, and then I went right into cooking. So go figure. But now I'm using my degree for something. I'm doing web development, web design, and I cook for my family and friends now. Do not do it professionally anymore. The hours just got too ridiculous. Oh man. Okay, so my family they're very, very, very hungry. Right, tell us again what you are making tonight. Okay, Chris. I'm making glazed ham, a spiral ham, and a potatoes au gratin. And I kind of walk you guys through the process of making the au gratin. And this is the sample dish that I prepared in advance, so you guys can kind of see what the final product is like. You know what I should do is I should probably just cut a piece and put it on a cutting board. That might help you all out. Let's see here. The glazed ham is still in the oven because it takes a little while, and the full batch of au gratin potatoes are in the oven as well. So this was more of an opportunity to hang out and chat and answer questions and kind of show you guys the au gratin potatoes. The ham, it was already being cooked and it was already in the oven, and if I could show you some of what I was doing with it, great. If not, I wasn't anticipating going through the process of the whole cooking the ham and glazing it. It takes too long. But let me cut a piece of this out using. I've had this knife since I was in college. This is over 20 years old. Believe that? 20 years old. Okay. It's pretty dull though, I will say. It's not something I use every day. Okay, let's see. What can I use to get this out? Here. Miss it too, yeah. I can tell by your handle that you're not New England anymore, that's for sure. You're on the other side of the country. Alright. Yeah, I miss it. I miss it big time. I miss all my friends. I don't have much family up there anymore. I have an aunt. That's about it, unfortunately. You go back every year? I'm kind of jealous, I will say. Alright, here. This is what it looks like. Just like that. Move this out of the way. You are cool. Oh, thank you. I try to be cool for my kid. All right. So you can see there's some layers. Now normally when I make it, it's about that tall. At least twice as tall as tonight. But since there's only 3 of us, I'm not going to make something like that because I don't want to deal with the leftovers, honestly. But yeah, so this is the au gratin, and it's delicious. And I'll throw, if you guys follow my community tab, do you guys follow the community tab at all? I do post occasionally in community. I did a poll recently about what the next video would be. But I'll post a pseudo recipe for this in there along with the hand glaze if you want to check that out. But yeah, here we go. Still very hot, but so delicious. And this is something, tasting in front of the camera is not something I do all the time. I get a lot of complaints actually about why I don't add that to my videos. And I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm not into watching people eat food. I don't know about you. I mean, I guess it's called the money shot, but come on. I'm not going to, there are some YouTubers that you can see that they're just so, they take the bite and they're so, it's just not real. You know, it's like totally over exaggerated. I don't want to be that person at all. I want to cook the food. I want to show you what it's like when it looks like when it's done. And I want you to guys go and make it and enjoy it. I don't have to show you how good it tastes on camera. I don't think that's necessary. Honestly. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm glad we had a chance to connect, PDX Les. I really do. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that we did have a chance to talk. Fernando Jose, watch a channel, hugs from here. Brazil, awesome. So glad that you found me. That's cool. This is another thing about live and just being on YouTube. A chance to meet people from all over the world. Fantastic. It's so cool. Gotta tell you, it's really cool. Chill, hugs from, yeah. Hugs, man. We're doing this now. Doing this now. Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I've never been to Oregon, man. I'd love to go. I've never been to the Northwest. Been to California, from Morocco. Wow. Oh, hold on. I got something for you. Hold on a second. I'm still here. I'm still here, just grabbing something from the fridge. If you're from Morocco, what are these? Reem, what are these? I make a lot of them. I did a video on them actually. From Saudi Arabia. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, this is so cool. Lemon, yeah. But what type of lemon? What did I do with them? They're definitely not fresh. These guys right here. Oh, Jesus, this thing's been in the fridge. I haven't opened this in 6 months. Yes. Well, I learned I learned this from Moroccan cooking. Yeah, you can add it exactly. So, for those of you that don't know, these are preserved lemons. And what you do with these is, these are actually Meyer lemons. Chicken tagine, yeah. These are Meyer lemons. You can use garden variety lemons as well. But you essentially toss them in salt and you pack them in jars and you add lemon juice or water. I think lemon juice is traditional. When you push them down, you get some lemon juice in there already from the existing lemons, and I usually just top it off with water. I know I'll get criticized for that, but that's just kind of my process. And then you just keep them and you let them sort of, you let them do their thing, and they get so good, that they get so aromatic, and you can use the skin and the pulp. I typically just use the skin, but I know the pulp is used quite a bit as well. For cooking, I typically thinly slice the skin, and I'll toss it in vinaigrettes and in salads and in dishes, and it gives the dish a really nice, bright, semi-salty, aromatic note to it. Fantastic. Me too, yeah. Way to go, kid. Wait a second. Way to go, kid. Are you calling me a kid? How old are you? Am I young to you? It's beautiful. Use both, yeah. Yeah, I love preserved lemons. Oh my God, they're fantastic. And I put cinnamon, peppercorn, and bay leaf in mine. And I think Yeah, I put clove in there too. It's been so long since I made a batch. I've got 3 jars in my fridge now. But all right, guys, I gotta get this dinner on the table. Love chatting with you guys. Do you have any questions before I head out? Any questions about what I cooked tonight? Any questions in general? Happy to answer anything you guys may have right now. Thank you. Sandy, love you. Can't wait for you guys to get here. Yes, it is bay leaf. Sandy, bay leaf. And is that cloves, oves, O-V-E-S? Did you mean to type cloves? Head to work, head to work. Yeah. Headed to work out. Good luck. I'll see you around. Stay safe. All right. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'll try to do this frequently. Anytime I cook something, then I will absolutely go live. It's going to look just like this, and it may not be pretty, but hopefully you get something out of it and we have a chance to chat. I'm definitely going to do fresh pasta. Absolutely. I have some ricotta and some spinach that I need to use in the fridge, and I have a ton of canned San Marzano tomatoes. So probably the next time I go live, we'll do some pasta, maybe some spinach and ricotta ravioli. How does that sound? Super. Yes, they are super intense. Anyways, guys, it was great to see you all. Stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.